Alrighty.
Fire Radio. Listening to the best music. Keeping you company throughout the day.
Absolutely. The one and only Fuse over there with Cynthia featuring Silly Breaks. How we doing? How we feeling? Welcome to Let's Talk with Earton. I hope you're having a great Friday. It's the last Friday of the month, January, hashtag the year of the fire hose. How are you doing and feeling about? This Chinese zodiac calendar talks about the year of the fire horse, and it's initially starting on February 17th. The initial date where that calendar falls into place is February 17th, and I hope you'll see amazing changes because, hey, the year of the fire horse has been amazing. I don't know how if you've been in alignment, you'll definitely see some changes or whatever you've been trying to manifest actually aligning and coming to manifestation. But remember, you can download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackwatchfireradionetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements. Apparel clothing with a Blackwatch Fire Radio logo on it. My name is Irton Longoria, sending you so much love and light. Let's talking about redefining Africa as we redefine ourselves because we are the change we need to see in the world. Today's conversation is about the truth behind the Egyptian broken nose. And we saw a little bit of a snippet of Aisha's speed asking very innocently about why the nose is broken, and what they told him was very like upset. And I know a lot of people did react to this. Obviously we talk more about that, and also we'll talk about the history of the Sundi Atta Kita, the Lion King of Mali, I believe, before Mansa Musa, and also a little bit of Mali's empire, and basically deeper about the Egyptians' statues' nose and why the reason their noses are actually been missing for quite a long time. And we'll definitely have that conversation. But remember, you can get your supplements. I take my CMOS religiously, so you can order on www.blackwatchfireradionetwork.com. You can get your CMOS, your beetroot, you can get your Manuka honey coffee, different categories of the supplements that we do have. If you're using the iPhone, you can stream on www.blackwatchfireradionetwork. If you're using the Android device, you can just go straight to the Google Play Store, download your app, and you'll definitely get updated on different conversation shows that are always running over here on the Blackwatch Fire Radio Network from 8 a.m. in the morning to 11 p.m. East African time. But before I start the conversation, let's listen in to the health and benefit of ashwagandha.
Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
$23.90. You can order your ashwagandha. On Monday, we were talking about how we should definitely be having a very healthy lifestyle, and you did have the Yaki Awaken talking about how Africans' immunity should definitely be merged with the natural things that we consume, basically full of plants and vegetables. And that's why we do have our supplements, super organic, super natural from Mother Nature. So get your ashwagandha, get your CMOS, order your beetroot, order your shea butter, and you'll definitely not going to be disappointed about it. Let's listen in to my motivational video before I start the show. Alrighty.
Guys, you can't outrun it. If you're born in 1980. My mantra for 2026 is...
Did I lose it?
Guys, don't let this year be a filler episode.
Ooh, you need to hashtag that.
Give it all this
Give
year.
it up.
Give them the best show, the best performance.
Yes.
I know you're on autopilot, but we need to get out of autopilot. We've been in autopilot for too long. Whatever you need to do to get yourself out of autopilot, do it. Try something new in the workplace. Apply for a new job. Maybe look at a new career. Maybe chase the dream that you've always wanted to dream.
Just now.
Stick in the plot. Yes, you're going to get dirty. Yes, you might fail. But there's a story to tell, darling.
Yes.
And you learn something new. You become a new person when you fail.
Correct.
When you give something your all and it may not work out, but you transform.
Yes.
So you did not fail because you became new. There's a new version of you that you uncovered. Guys, don't let this should be a filler episode. Do things for the plot.
You know, that's the thing about life, you know.
Tell me.
There's some episode in some movie. You'll be like, nah, let me skip this.
Filler episode. Let's thicken the plot. And I'm not saying just do negative things. Let's really thicken the plot.
Yeah.
Really,
if you've never done bungee job before, go and do bungee job.
Yeah.
Why not?
Something new in the bedroom.
So where do you go with conversation, Ghana?
I don't know. I like to cover all bases. Guys, don't let this year be a filler episode.
Ooh,
Absolutely. Do something new because, honey, it's always a great time to be alive. And life is for the living. Have a great time. Try something new. Make new friends. Follow something or basically manifest something you've been wanting to do. Why not? And if you fail, at least you actually did try. The conversation of the day is the truth behind the Eqyptian broken nose. We'll have a conversation about that as I share a video to actually help us delve deeper into that conversation. And remember, it's the year of the fire horse, according to the Chinese zodiac prediction and calendar. I'll also share a little bit of that when you go on a short commercial break. Right now, let's listen in and basically react to this amazing conversation about the real reason Egyptian statues are missing their noses and how definitely they'll always try to take over everything that we invented.
What if I told you the biggest cover-up in history wasn't in a book? It's right in front of your eyes, because every time you've seen an Egyptian statue, a pharaoh, a queen, a god, the nose is gone, the lips are gone, the features that tell you who they were, gone. And yet the crowns are fine, the hieroglyphs are fine, the stone is fine. So tell me, how does time destroy black features but spare everything else? They say it's erosion. Nah, it's erasure, because those faces look too familiar. Those kings and queens didn't look like the conquerors who came later. They looked like us, broad noses, full lips, brown skin painted right onto the stone, and that terrified the people who came after them. So when invaders rolled in, Persians, Greeks, Romans, later Europeans, they didn't just steal Egypt's gold, they stole its identity. They took hammers to faces that proved civilization was built by Africans. They broke the proof so they could rewrite the story. This wasn't vandalism, it was policy. They wanted to bury a truth.
You can break the nose, but you can never erase the truth. By the end of the day, we know the truth about the real people, original people of the land of Kemet, obviously Africans. And the fact that they had to go through all this and actually, try and sculpt everything into the white features, honey, it just shows you how powerful Africans are and how the inferiority complex actually affected them. Because the thing weak people do, if they cannot get rid of you, is try and destroy you by the end of the day, or basically erase everything that has to do with your identity. Before we continue with that video, there's a video over here. I know we definitely did watch this right away, of the one and only Eqyptian. I'm sorry about that. No technical issue. We got it. Got it. Of Eqyptian. Back at it, we're talking about the truth behind the broken Egyptian nose, and we did see or basically watch that short little clip of Eqyptian asking the question very innocently, and we did have people reacting to it because, honey, hey.
Eqyptian went to Egypt. So at this point, are we not tired of the lies? So Eqyptian went to Egypt and he was being shown all of the statues and things like that. And Darren Watkins asked this lady, why is his nose broken off? And why is a lot of the statues' noses are gone? And she came up with this came up with this crazy explanation as to why they have no noses. But we all know why their noses are broken off. Because a certain people group went over there and they did not want people to know the true history of our world and who the people were during that time. And so they hit off the noses because noses give a complete distinction of a person's ethnicity and where they come from. So the easiest thing to do is to knock off their nose. That's why when you go to all of these historic places, you see a lot of statues with no noses. They do not want you to know in simple terms that they were Black people.
Absolutely, 100%.
They had these types of noses. They don't want you to know that. She comes up with this grand explanation as to why they did it.
You know, when someone asks a question so casually, it actually cracks something wide open. When Aisha Speed stood in Egypt and asked why the Sphinx's nose was broken, a lot of people laughed. But that question isn't funny. It's one of the most important questions you can ask about history. And the answer isn't what most people think. Let's dismantle another colonization claim. My name is Maureen, and this is Real Africa Stories. Picture it for a second. You're standing there, thousands of years of history in front of you. This monument that has outlived empires. And the face is damaged. Not weathered, not softened by time. Damaged. So of course people ask, why that part? And I want to say this properly. When people wonder if the noses were broken because they looked African, that question doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from centuries of Egypt being slowly pulled away from Africa in the way it's taught. So let's not dismiss the question. Let's actually answer it. Here's what most people don't realize. The noses weren't broken by sandstorms. They weren't broken by age. They weren't broken accidentally. They were broken by people. And once you know that, everything changes. In ancient Egyptian belief, statues weren't just stone. They were believed to hold presence, spirit, life.
Absolutely about presence and spirit.
And the nose mattered because the nose meant breath. So if you wanted to silence a statue, not destroy it completely, just stop it being, you broke the nose. That wasn't vandalism. That was intentional. And this is where the pattern shows up. You see it across Egypt again and again. Noses broken, eyes gorged out, faces damaged. Not just pharaohs, not just gods. Anyone who once held power. Now, let's be clear. Ancient Egypt was African. The people were African. And African features have always been diverse. But when historians look closely at the damage, it isn't selective. Broad noses, broken. Narrow noses, broken. Idealized faces, broken. This wasn't about erasing African features. It was about erasing power. And that's
Absolutely.
why Speed's question mattered. Because sometimes it takes someone outside the system to ask what everyone else stopped questioning. That broken nose isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that what stood there once made people uncomfortable enough to try and silence it.
Absolutely.
And yet, it's still standing after all of it. This is the Africa you're not shown. I'm here.
Absolutely. And the fact that the understanding or the idea that the dark-skinned people built this, it's just hard for them to take it in. Like, we built this. We have this amazing, intelligent mind to create something like that. It's like something they cannot actually fathom or basically accept. So the best they can do is actually destroy the truth and fundamental fact that talks more about the African civilization and the fact that we stood there, the fact that we built this, we started all this, and Africa was not primitive.
That would blow up their whole narrative, that Africa wasn't a place of poverty, but the birthplace of power. You can still see it in the marble dust. Clean chisel cuts right through the nostrils every single time. Not random, not weather, intent. 1,000 years of colonizers taking the same swing, trying to make sure the world forgot that the first kings didn't come from Greece or Rome. They came from the Nile. And here's the punchline. It didn't work, because under the cracks, the evidence is still there. The hair on the mummies, the pigment on the walls, the DNA in the bones. You can smash a nose, but you can't erase the truth. The builders of Egypt were black. When the Greeks and Romans marched into Egypt, they didn't just find temples, they found proof that the people they called barbarians had already mastered everything they were still learning. The invaders couldn't match the engineering. They couldn't decode the medicine. They couldn't believe that the pyramids and libraries were the work of dark-skinned Africans who worshipped, wrote, and ruled long before Europe even had a word for civilization. So they did what insecure conquerors always do. They rewrote the story.
Insecure. And I believe that's how the inferiority complex was basically placed on Africans in Africa, because it's actually changing the narrative. Like, you know what, you guys are the ones who are supposed to look up to us. So they had to actually bring the inferiority complex mentality, which they are the ones who actually have it, but they have to pass it on to us to actually confuse you. Like, you know what, we are the one who made you, not the other way around. But going back to research, you definitely have the narrative of the fact that we are the ones who are the greatest of all time.
They took the gods, renamed them, and painted themselves into the legend. They ordered their sculptors to copy the pharaoh's crowns, the headdresses, the posture, but not the faces, because those faces told the truth. The first step in rewriting history isn't changing the words, it's changing the image. Once the Greeks ruled through the Ptolemies, and later when the Romans took over, they funded new sculptures with European features, narrow noses, thinner lips, lighter stone. They plastered their versions of Egyptian beauty on top of the originals. It was ancient propaganda. Centuries later, European explorers dug up the broken statues and called it discovery. But they didn't just record what they saw, they interpreted it to fit their story. When Napoleon's men marched into Egypt in 1798, they cataloged every artifact, every wall, every carving. They knew the truth immediately. Some even wrote that the faces were Negroid. But
When you're
those were
black,
quietly
exactly.
verified. The ones that made it into textbooks, the ones that sanitized
Exactly.
Africa out of Egypt and
Exactly. These
French.
faces are
That's why
Negroid.
in
Yes, they're black.
see those are
Yeah.
broken faces, neatly labeled, weathered by time. But ask any sculptor, ask any restorer, the breaks aren't random, they're deliberate. The chisel marks are clean, right where the nostrils meet the
That's where the
cheek.
nose at. The nigger nose.
It's extermination
Absolutely.
of
But Kamach has a pointy nose.
evidence, of memory, of identity. And they did it because
You have
they
a very white nose,
My nose
Kamlesh.
is not white. Look at it.
It's white.
Look at it.
It's white. Look at that. Even mine.
No, my nose is very black. Look.
No.
Nah, this the yeah. His nose is still black. It's not white.
Yup.
No, yours too, Airtime. Sorry, sorry, Airtime. You have a nigger nose. Sorry.
No, I don't mind that. Of course, I'm proud of that. 100%.
Okay, just letting you know.
Men's power. I'm powerful, honey.
afraid of the day the world would connect the dots and realize the same Africa they called primitive built the foundation of their entire civilization. Fast forward
Yep.
to the 1800s, colonial Europe is in full swing, building empires, enslaving nations,
Mm.
stealing everything that wasn't nailed down. They looted tombs, shipped the statues back to London,
Wow.
Paris, and Berlin, and lined them up in glass cases. And once again, they lied. They looked at brown paint on the statues and called it symbolic. They looked at
At the
type
time, they had resculpted the statues into a white man's feature, right?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them have. Yeah, they're all fakes. And also,
Mm.
also they were also these wicked Europeans. They were eating the bodies of the Africans, the mummies. They were eating them. Crazy.
My goodness.
Yep.
coiled hair mummies and
Hmm.
called it a trick of preservation. They found Nubian artifacts in royal tombs and labeled
Yep.
them foreign imports. Every piece
Hmm.
of evidence screamed African, but the narrative whispered Mediterranean. They couldn't let the world see that Africa was the mother of knowledge, that
Yes.
Egypt was the child of Nubia, that civilization flowed north from the Nile, not south from. So they made Egypt white. They published books showing pale-skinned pharaohs
As
ruling
much
under the
knows, but
desert
not the
sun.
truth.
They hired painters to restore ancient art by lightening the skin tones. They built entire museum wings
Right.
celebrating Western discovery, while the original builders were
Why?
written
Because
out.
it's psychopaths. They want to
Poetry.
claim history because their history. White people don't.
For history.
Their history is really no one knows what it is. It's like it's always cave and poverty and wretchedness. Everything they got from black people.
Yeah.
Egyptians, way back in past, the Moors recently. It's always a lie with these people. Because remember,
And
once they colonized you, they needed to denigrate you. They made all kind of lies. They brought you civilization, all these crazy lies. So you understand? See, so when you look at this ancient history here, that's why I want you to thinking. There was no Jesus, was no Allah. None of these religions existed. Was no Jesus, was no Allah. And then if you understand your old these African civilizations, that's where all your fake religions came from. Taking African text and creating religions out of it later when they finally get civilized. They took your spirituality and they reversed it and made religions out of it for control. But none of those religions existed. So did those people go to your fake hell? They didn't know your Jesus. They didn't know your God. They didn't know your Allah. Because all Christianity and Islam are new religions. Every time they're new. So how can any God not tell you who he was for thousands of years? And all of a sudden he pops on the scene a few days ago, say, hey, I'm God, nigga. Follow me.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Badge of ownership, a way for outsiders to claim authority over a culture they clearly
It
understand.
had nothing to do with that. They didn't still understand today. Is that because it's spiritual? That's why it's very they don't understand it today. It's saying you can trace that language of Kemet all the way back into the Congo to Nigeria. You can trace it back because linguistically we know ancient Kemet is African. Linguistically, linguistics is science of language, Irritan. So nothing they can't steal because linguistically those languages were still spoken in Africa. That's what they hate. That language is still spoken in Mali. That language is still spoken in Nigeria, parts of the Congo. This is scientific facts. So you can't say white and at the time white people were not in Northern Africa. So they also try to tell you these white people you see in Northern Africa that they were just there. They're not those people are invaders. They're not. There were no white people in Northern Africa thousands of years ago. It was only African people. So that's another thing. They're not indigenous to the land, and they don't understand the language of ancient Kemet because it came out of Africa. We were telling you got it.
Alrighty. We're talking about basically about a conversation yesterday about control, and a friend of mine shared the fact that if you want to control the poor, you should definitely give them hope. And if you want to control
religion.
Yes, if you want to control the wealthy, show them an experience, and if you want to control women, give them beauty, or basically show them like a beauty standard. And you see that like the three things which are controlling the world, literally, when you look at it like that, how the wealthy and experienced talked about maybe sex trafficking, name it, all these things that are like happening right now, and also the poor, absolutely hope by the end of the day. And definitely delves down to religion.
Lie.
Yeah.
Now the same artifacts exposing them. Modern technology, DNA analysis.
And the analysis, the goopy AI sending you that, Africa was black, Kemet was black, not white. That's your goopy AI. So even all the lies, I want to ask Speed, because he didn't know he's young. Why the nose is chopped off? Why they tell him all these lies? Why the nose is chopped off every time? Well, because of Time.
Erosion. I don't know what erosion. You're like, what? Soil erosion? How? What do you mean?
It don't. Why does it only affect the nose?
Yes. Like, thank you. Why did it only affect the nose of all the body parts of this
Exactly.
part?
What happened to the ear? Why didn't chop off the ear? No, because you know why? Because it's got that nigga nose.
Hmm. And this is the land of the blacks. That's why we are not the
That's what.
original people of Egypt. You know.
Exactly. Exactly.
South, Sudan, Nubia, Kush. The ancestral root of Egypt's greatness was African to its core. So when you walk through those museums today and stare at rows of faceless statues, don't just see broken stone, see the evidence of a centuries long cover up. Because those missing noses aren't accidents,
Mm,
they're confessions. In ancient Egypt, the face wasn't just decoration, it was divine technology. The
Exactly.
Egyptians believed breath was life, and the nose was the gateway to that life. When the gods created humanity, they breathed spirit through the nostrils. So when you see a nose smashed off a statue, it wasn't vandalism, it was execution. It
mm,
was how conquerors killed a god twice, once in spirit, once in memory. Every broken nose was a ritual act of domination. To them,
right.
a statue with a full face still lived. It still carried the presence of the person it represented. Destroying the
Exactly.
nose was in its breath, silencing its
It's
spirit.
spirit.
But what made this violence even more symbolic was whose faces were being silenced. Because the
Exactly.
faces
Black.
they attacked weren't random. They targeted the ones that made those statues undeniably African.
Yep.
Wide nostrils, full lips, rounded cheeks. You can see the precision in the chiseling. The blow always aimed right between the nostrils or across the bridge, designed to erase the most
I
distinct
also had
mark
them. I also had them beautiful nigga lips. Them
patient,
Hmm.
nigga lips are so beautiful. Hey, all right.
proud,
Them nigga
and
lips.
wasn't.
Full lips, like broad noses, very, very peculiar, very unique. You know, you can't just
Now
wake
that,
up
of
get
course,
that. Like, you have to be
that beautiful,
African.
that beautiful African face here, Tom.
Yeah, I want to share this right now. Really.
Wait, I have a question. Why is his nose gone?
First one, the
Why are you laughing?
Because it's funny because he does it's because he's so big. It's funny every time because he doesn't know, and then this lady's gonna make him a goofy lie because it's not her people, not her. These people are
Right.
invaders, so they're gonna come a complete lie. He doesn't know he's been lied to. Of course, they're gonna tell him they all told him now because these are niggas. That's why their nose is gone. But he didn't know that.
That's so true. That's the correct answer, which you didn't
Exactly.
say. You didn't answer
Exactly.
it.
No,
Wait, I have
no.
a question.
Listen,
Why is his nose gone?
because they stealing your history.
two reasons. The first one,
See,
because the erosion factors. This is the weakness
because
of the
erosion.
statue.
But
The erosion factors broke.
the
Because
erosion
it's not
factor.
because it's not this white bitch right here. That's why. That's them.
Well,
These are the invaders. Yeah, I would call her what she is. She lied. She's a bitch. She lied. These are the invaders. These people are not Egyptians or ancient Kemites. Make them some crazy.
The second Eden because
We are.
after this king tried to broke his nose to be strong.
Oh, so this is the ego thing, huh?
Yes.
No, it's
So
not
this is
eagle.
a very dark experience.
wow. Oh my god. Oh my
That's
goodness.
crazy.
Oh,
That's crazy. It's crazy talk. So the Africans about to say, see, this is the problem that these invaders come and try to steal our history. They
right.
tell us and say
So you
they're
see
us when they're
people
not.
like Speed, yeah, like they're very smart people, bro, yeah. And he's one of them type of guys that play fool to catch wise.
Why is her nose cut off?
Another, like he kept asking the same question everywhere he went.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
share.
Exactly. You're telling why is all the nigga noses cut off?
Yeah.
Did it fall off, Trent?
Everyone ask me when you just come here who I think is without nose. It is just a statue, just still, not God. For this, he broke a nose and say he can protect himself.
See, that's because he said too bad invaders came in and cut off the noses because they're invaders. He said it's not God, it's not Islamic. Got to remember, these Muslims are coming with their new religion, that fake Islam shit. So they wanted to prove that the greatness of Africa is not a thought. We can cut off the nose and prove he's not a guy, just a statue. So he's telling you, if you understand that he is an invader.
True.
True. Exactly.
Statue is not a god.
He's not a god. It is a god by the end of the day. So that's the statue. What do you mean?
So he broke the nose.
He's trying to make sense of it, and he's like, it doesn't make sense. He broke the nose.
He's actually telling the truth because if you understand, they came in as invaders. They didn't understand the culture here, Tom. Yeah, a group of people that come into a great culture. They at that time came in and already fell into the whites, to the Greeks and the Romans. So now you got the white Arab coming in, and it still has some of its greatness. And so they wanted to make it non-African. That's why the pyramids, they use the pyramids, the limestone. See, what you see the pyramids, it was even more brilliant back then. So the goofy Arab, who was a member of the Arabs at that time, were called, they were backward, they were illiterate.
Right.
And so what they did, they took the pyramids, the limestone, and they took the limestone off the pyramids to build what they call their capital, Cairo. They took the material and created Cairo out of the pyramids. It's not their culture. But today they still don't understand. It's not their culture. Nothing to do with these people. They don't understand the language. They don't understand nothing. They're the ones digging in the shit, trying to tell you about the shit. They know nothing about it because it's not them. That's why she's saying. That's why she over there saying crazy stuff. Hey, what happened to the nose? Well, it's because of the ego and blah blah blah. Yeah, you talk. She don't have no. You don't know. Everybody knows because they're black. That's why they cut the noses off.
I think is the one.
Like I said, bro, Speed is a smart guy, bro. Don't fall for the anti.
Yeah, he thought about it. He's like, okay.
Shit. We all know what happened to the nose, why they blew it off. Yeah, this guy trying to say they cut it off to prove it wasn't a god. Now, does that even make any sense? The reason why he asked the question is just to hear the lie. You know, sometimes
maybe
we like. Sometimes you know when you know the answer.
Yeah, they know it's a lie.
Anyway.
Exactly.
It's like,
Everybody knows all them noses are cut off because they're black, and it's not them. And these Arabs are these Arabs have been trying to steal that culture of Northern Africa from Egypt, Libya, Morocco, and Algeria. These people are invaders, but they want to steal. They've been stealing ancient African culture because ancient African culture here, Tom, was great. That's why you give them fake Christianity. And you're like, oh, I'm on the bottom of the Lord. Ancient Africans here, Tom, were great. You come from a great people here, Tom. So that's them trying to steal your greatness and say it was them. You come from a great people here, Tom.
You know when a girl, like a lot of girls do this, right? They will ask their man a question. They know the answer, but they just want to ask him anyway, just to see if he would tell a lie. And listen, this guy clearly told a lie. And look at Speed's face, man. Speed knows what's up. He's like, you think I'm stupid? You see people like Speed, like they're very smart people, bro. Yeah.
Alrighty, we have that. We have another last review. Okay.
Wait, he don't have a nose neither? No. Wait, I have a question. Why is his nose gone?
You have two reasons. The first one, because the erosion factors. This is the weakness point of the statue. because the erosion factors it's broke the nose, and maybe the second reason because any king come before after this king tried to broke his nose to be the strongest one.
Oh. So just the ego thing, huh?
Yes.
Why is her nose closed?
Lies are absolutely
A
crazy.
man Maqdis from Islamic era, right inside his book and say, a man
Exactly. See, this is when Islam, he's talking about the Islamic era. That's when these motherfucking foreigners, these invaders come with their fake goofy Islam. So at least he's telling the truth about that. Because they're not indigenous. They invaded with their fake goofy religion. That was brand new. So if you understand, so you can go, that's why I went to Africans and no real history. When they were coming to Africa, invading, their religion was brand new. You can go look this up. It's a new goofy religion. That's why they're Islamic up there today. They came in with their fake goofy new religion, which really still comes from African spiritual science. Still, all of it. Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, all comes out of Africa, from African spiritual. That's why you never study. That's why they want you guys to study African science, spiritual science. If you study your own people, you would know. You say, God damn, this Christianity is like African shit, but mixed, it's mixed up. Damn, this Islam shit is like African shit, but mixed up. This Buddhism shit is like African shit. This Hindu shit. Yes, the source is you. Because it's all talking about the Christ, the Christos. Christos is not a person. You're the Christ as an African. It's a vibratory frequency. So why is the Buddha called the Christ? And they wouldn't remember Christianity didn't exist yet. Buddha was called what? A Christ, because that came from Africa. All your Hindu gods are Christ. And then they created a fake god later on. I think Christianity comes like maybe 2,400 years after Buddhism. Now you got a dude that calls himself Christ. It all comes from Africa. It's the raping of your culture and your spiritual practices that they tell you now to be scared of, and it's witchcraft. No, you're the beginning of everything. You are the Christ. Christ is a vibration, not a person. Eqyptian, you got it.
Review as we continue with the conversation right away. Where is it at? Okay, this is it.
Here, this Arab woman lied to Aisha Speed about the original reason why the nose of a pharaoh statue is broken.
Wait, I have a question. Why is his nose gone?
6 AD. That's why they're still. You all know that the Europeans, Arabs, invaded Egypt in 636 AD. That's why they're still there right now promoting Islam. How can they be speaking for the indigenous people of Egypt and they're not even African? We gotta give credit to the ancient Egyptians being African.
Exactly. Those are the people up there. Exactly. I had to teach Joby and Katie. Those people are not Africans up there. Okay? Yeah, do they live on the African continent now? Yes, they invaded, but they're not African people. Those people in Morocco, Libya, fucking Algeria, and now Egypt are not Africans. They are invaders. Go ahead, Eqyptian.
It reflected African nose, and Egypt and Africa. It's not a small village in Sweden. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this Arab woman was lying to Aisha Speed, man.
Many of the noses that you see on Egyptian statues, whether they're in exhibits in museums or in Egypt itself, are gone.
And they're horrendously broken. Like, they look so bad, honestly. The way they put them is like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Noses are gone. And it's not because they disintegrated. It's because they were removed by either early Christians or the Muslims after 640 AD.
Exactly. The Muslims
remember,
came in.
if you change the image of an individual, you no longer have an actual image of a human being if you remove the nose. That was the perception at the time. So that's why 95% approximately of all Egyptian statuettes that had noses no longer do.
Back then, statues were considered more than just representations. They were like containers for the spirit, or ka, of the person depicted by the statue. Some leaders worried that the old deceased pharaohs could still exert power through these statues. Removing the nose would symbolically disable the statue's power or connection to the spirit in the afterlife by not allowing it to breathe anymore.
And that's why
So at this point, are we not?
identity was hidden from us. Our history was hidden from everything about us was actually erased, hidden, and everything we're taught is all lies. Even right now, it's easy, as I said earlier, it's easy for an African person to believe a white man than an African person. Right now, if you put an African
It's
person here,
sad. I know.
you're gonna say, "Yeah, I believe the white man."
That's how deep, but that's true. That's even still in America too. That's in America too, Ayrton. That's how deep the colonialism and the propaganda and brainwashing has gone over the last 500 years since these savages came out of being impoverished and descended on the world. Remember, before 500 years, you got Europe in poverty, darkness. They're all backward. They're illiterate. You ain't noticed. They're all illiterate. We're going to put it before you're talking about to start the show. Say, put us up, Ayrton. Say, as Google say, in the medieval time, we talking about before they left Europe. Say in the medieval era, the majority of Europeans were illiterate. You say about 98. So they were all stupid and dumb. This is their real history. That's not in your goofy history books. And you like, I trust the white man. You ain't trusting the teacher that. So in their past, they were all impoverished. The Africans came and taught them how to read, write, all this other stuff.
Okay, while
What does it say?
that the vast majority of people in medieval Europe were illiterate by the Dark Ages, air quotes, trope that everyone except priests were illiterate is a misconception. Literacy rates varied heavily by time period, approximately 500 to 1500 AD, region and social class. Is that it?
Well, yeah, they're trying to nuance you, Ayrton. They want to say that, yeah, most of them are stupid, but it's complicated. No, most of them are illiterate. Now, so they're trying to say the priests were the ones that could read because they read the goofy Bible to lie to the people. So it's the priests were forced to know how to read, but the majority of people, even the kings and queens in Europe, were illiterate, could not read or write. But who came and taught them again? The African came in with the Moors coming again, start teaching them how to read and write, how to wash their ass, how to damn eat properly. See, they call theirs the Renaissance. It's called the Enlightening period. They don't say it was the African that enlightened their ass. They say it was enlightening. They tell you Ayrton's reading that Europeans were stupid. So they say that Europeans are in their history books. And this is how I grew up. They say that Europeans went from stupid to smart by themselves. All of a sudden you were stupid all this time. Then all of a sudden you became smart. They never say it was the Moors, the black people came in and taught them how to read and write. Okay, that's what they teach you here at time. I don't know about no black people teaching them. They knew at least they knew they were stupid. They say they just all of a sudden became smart. That's what they write in the books. That's what they wrote them in my book. They were stupid and they just became smart every time. And I was like, how they just become smart? Wow, that's amazing. So I'm a kid. I said, that's amazing. How do you become? How you be stupid and then you become smart? They never put any of their books. The African came in and built schools and told them how to read and write. That's not in none of their books. It's not none of my books, not in America. They said they were stupid, then next thing they were smart. I said, damn, how did that happen? But they never tell you. But anyway, that's it here, Tom.
While it is accurate that the vast majority of people in medieval Europe were illiterate by modern standards, the Dark Ages trope that everyone except priests was illiterate is a misconception. Literacy rates varied heavily by time period, approximately 500 to 1500 AD.
And I want every time listen what they saying. It's in a dark age. That means dark age means they're black, where they're stupid, they don't wash their ass, they filthy. But there was no dark age in Africa every time. You were advanced still. So there was no dark age. They try to say the dark age to be everybody. No, they're talking about them. That's their dark age. The Moors wasn't living in no dark age. They had palaces with lights and bathing and fine clothing and books and libraries.
Yes.
There's no dark age for you. For them, there's a dark age.
That's what they don't teach you.
No.
You were discovered by someone from Europe. What? What do you mean?
Early sketches and Arab historians describe its nose long before Napoleon's cannons and British explorers ever arrived. But by the time Western expeditions took their official photographs, the face was already mutilated. The story changed again. It was the wind, it was erosion, it was time. Convenient excuses that repeated like a mantra, generation after generation. But think about it. The Sphinx is carved from solid limestone. Its
Exactly.
body moves to the same winds, same sand, same centuries. The body's still. The nose is gone. Coincidence.
Exactly.
Chance. They didn't just destroy stone. They destroyed connection between Africa and its descendants, between power and its original source. Because a full, unbroken African face staring proudly from the sands of Giza would have shattered their entire narrative of racial hierarchy.
The white supremacy, exactly.
The statues, they saw themselves reflected nowhere. No pale skin, no straight noses, no thin lips. They saw a history that didn't belong to them.
Absolutely.
And they couldn't stand it. So they did what weak men always do when confronted by truth. They destroyed what they couldn't compete with.
Come on.
They left the crowns because they loved the idea
Destroyed
of
what
empire.
they couldn't
They
compete
left
with.
the bodies because they admired the power. But they broke the faces because they hated the reminder that Africa was first. That's the
Absolutely.
cruel poetry of it. The most recognizable part of the human body, the part that
It's
breathes.
so mind blowing for them. Like, how could they build such a, very unique, like the
No,
pyramid? Did.
not just unique. Not just unique here, Tom. Shit that they can't build today.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Nobody's been able to build something like that.
No, nobody can build it today.
Yeah. But we build it. The dark skinned people, the greatest of
Yeah.
all time, did it.
Yeah.
Breathes, smells, speaks, became a weapon in the war against identity. By erasing the face, they could pretend Africa never led the world. By erasing
Exactly.
they could silence generations. But the joke's on them. Because every missing nose now
Joke's
screams louder than 1,000 lectures. It says someone was so threatened by what this face represented that they had to destroy it. And the more you look, the louder that truth gets.
Absolutely.
To understand how far this erasure went, you have to look south to Kush. The Black Kingdom gave Egypt its kings more than once. These were the Nubians, the dark-skinned rulers from the land, now called Sudan. When Egypt fell into chaos, it was these same people who restored
Went up.
the
They went
25th.
back into it. Yep. He told the 25th dynasty when Kemet was now being overrun by white people, the savages. They were savage. And you had not the Sudanese you see today, those mixed Arab looking motherfuckers. No, black Africans. That's what it's called, Nubi, meaning black, dark black. Right? That's why they born. That's why South Sudan still has the Nubians, the black. So they go back into Kemet to their family. Their family. It really wasn't even really an invasion. So when Kemet is starting to fall, the Nubians say, this white shit coming in here and changing, this shit's all weird. We're not going to tolerate. So they move into Africa to Harka. Harka moves in there. And of course, the Africans, the blacks, greet them because they're now being invaded by these white motherfuckers they never seen before. They're being invaded by these white people, starving, all fucked up in there. Africans here, they're violent and they're weird. And so when Taharka comes in there, it's not like an invasion because they're family.
Right.
So the commission said, okay, Taharka, get these motherfuckers out of here. And Taharka comes in and rolls over these white people and restores Kemet to his glory. He said, these people are wicked. It fucked up. And so Taharka comes in and and unites Kemet and Nubia again. Because see, white people try to say, oh, they were enemies. They were family. See, yes, Africa wasn't as tribal as you think it was as you got now. You broke up now to all these goofy tribes. Africans knew they were one people back then. They were more conscious. So white people start saying all they fake books. Oh, the comedians and the Nubians always fought. That's a lie. Because Kemet's goddamn, as I told you, as Eqyptian's telling you in this documentary, Kemet comes from deep Africa, comes out of the Congo. It didn't start in what you call Egypt, Kemet. It comes out of the Congo area, and it moves up. Moves up through Kenya, through Uganda, through Sudan, and it comes up. As many people go up there and start creating that civilization. So they knew they were one people. So when Taharka goes into Kemet, as it's now being invaded, right? Being massively invaded, eventually like they done now, eventually the white man's gonna get it. But back then the white man was trying to get in his ass, and they were really barbaric then, said no way. So Taharka goes back, and the comedians what? Bring him in, because he's family, and makes him the king. And so they unite what you call Sudan today and Egypt with one empire. With one. So it wasn't just Kemet by itself in Sudan. It was one empire under Taharka. He comes in, kicks out all these foreign people, say, get your ass out of here. You ain't African. You gotta go. I love it, but you gotta go. You ain't black, you gotta go. So when none of this, okay. So I love Eqyptian. When Eqyptian, Taharka would say, all white people not bad. Taharka said, oh, we gotta go. So he established Kemet, and Sudan is one power again. And then his son Shabaka, look this up, Eqyptian, real quick to Google, because because they said we got to make sure, because those white people start coming and went vandalized and shit like that, like it was that tearing shit down. So Shabaka, his son, created something called a stone. He wanted to write all the ancient teachings down to make sure it would never be wiped out. Look up this real quick, Eqyptian, on Google. Say what is the Shabaka stone? Shabaka. Say SHAB. What is that? BAKA. Shabaka.
Stone.
What is the Shabaka stone? So is it telling you anything? So what is the Shabaka stone?
Shabaka stone is an ancient Egyptian artifact, 25th dynasty. So
see, 25th dynasty, what you were just reading there. Shabaka is Taharka's son. Eqyptian. So that's them come back, taking back power, and he wants to write down the actual. See, remember, no goofy Islam exists, no goofy Christianity for thousands of years. Eqyptian. These religions don't even exist yet. So Shabaka is putting in a stone, preserving African culture. He said, because I know eventually we're going to lose to these fucking people. They're going to keep invading us. There's going to be a time we're going to fall. But I want to make sure that our ancient ways are preserved.
That preserve the main faith theology.
Exactly.
Made centered on the god Pita, commissioned by Pharaoh Shabaka, the black basalt slab, currently in the British Museum records.
They stole it. They stole that shit every time. It sits in the British Museum. That's right.
Pita creates the world through his heart and tongue. That's what they're saying. There's a brief video overview of the Shabaka stone and its significance. But we're actually winding up with that family.
We wind up. So understand, the Africans understand who they were. And so Shabaka, every time just said, they've gone back in, they would rule Kemet from the south. So it'd be every time Kemet and Sudan were one empire. And so Shabaka said, eventually we're going to lose to these fucking savages. I got to write down and preserve our culture. And I got to put it in stone, because these people are wicked. He didn't know they're going to start tearing up their noses and all that shit yet. Remember, because white people have control. He knew they were wicked. So he said, I got to preserve our culture. And I gotta put it in stone because these people are gonna come tear shit up. And you'll see it toward the nose up and they lying. What's wrong with the nose? Well, that's because of blah blah blah. So Shabaka even knew that 3,000 years ago. He said, I gotta write shit down. These people are wicked. But anyway, much love you.
Right. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Newsom. We're talking about the truth behind the Egyptian broken nose because it did have actually been questioning that. And I believe right now everybody knows the reason, and you can never hide the truth. At the end of the day, the light will always come to light. For the end of the day, download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.Blackwood Radio Network. Get your ashwagandha, get your T-shirt, hoodies with the Blackwood Radio logo on it. Sending you so much love and light. Take care, family. Have a good one.
Peace, family.
Peace.
Greetings to the salutations, massive. Here's Andrew Robbins.
Peace and watch it. Peace and watch your nigga nose.
It should have been tuned to Black Fire Radio. And you're listening.
Keeping you company throughout the day. Feel the hits. Feel the freshness.
First of all,